It's Friday, 4 o'clock. An email arrives from my manager. The subject line is just, quick question, and my whole body tenses. Before I even open it, I know. I know it's a small favor that isn't small, and I know I'm going to say yes. Why is that? Why does a simple request feel like a trap?
Because you believe the request is the most important thing in that moment. You see it as a test of your loyalty, your competence, your willingness to be a team player. And you believe the only way to pass the test is to say yes.
Right. If I say no, I'm not being helpful. I'm letting the team down. I'm putting my own needs first. It feels selfish.
And that's the first misunderstanding we need to correct. Most people think the problem is finding the right words to say no politely. They search for the perfect script. But the words are the last part of the process. The real problem is our belief that a request is an obligation.
But for my manager, it often is an obligation, isn't it?
It's an invitation. It's a piece of information. Her request is a statement of her priority. It is not automatically a statement of yours. The anxiety you feel comes from treating her priority as more important than the ones you have already committed to.
I've never thought of it like that. A request is just information, not a command.
Exactly. It's data. And your first job isn't to respond. It's to think. You need to take that piece of information and place it next to your existing commitments. Your job is to assess the new request against the old promises.
Assess it. Okay, so I see the email. It asks me to prepare some slides for a Monday morning meeting. I know it will take me at least 3 hours. So I assess, and I see that I don't have 3 hours. But what's the next step? I still have the problem. I have to reply to her.
The next step is to challenge the second misunderstanding, which is the belief that a fast yes is a sign of a high performer.
I definitely believe that. Responding quickly, saying I'm on it, that shows you're efficient, you're proactive. It makes you look good.
It makes you feel good for a moment. It resolves the social tension of an open request. But that immediate comfort is incredibly expensive. You are trading a few seconds of feeling helpful for hours or even days of hidden stress. You've accepted a new commitment without fully understanding its cost to your other work.
That's true. I say yes to the slides, and then I spend all weekend worrying about them. Or I have to rush my other work, and the quality is lower.
A truly professional response is not instant. It's deliberate. A pause is a sign of respect. It shows you are taking their request seriously. It shows you are taking your own commitment seriously. The most powerful thing you can do when you receive a request is to pause and to give yourself permission to think.
So instead of replying, yes, of course, in 60 seconds, I should wait.
You should reply quickly, but your reply is not the answer. Your reply is a confirmation that you have received the information. Something like, thank you for this. Let me review my current project timelines and I will get back to you shortly.
That feels professional. It sounds much better than I'm busy. It buys me time to actually assess the situation.
It does more than buy you time. It changes the dynamic. You are no longer a passive receiver of tasks. You are an active manager of your own time and quality. It positions you as a strategic partner, not just an employee who follows orders.
Okay, this is making sense. I can see how pausing and assessing is a better strategy than the instant yes. But it all comes back to the same fear. What happens after I've paused? I still have to say no. And I still worry that it will disappoint people. It will damage my relationship with my manager.
This brings us to the third and most important misunderstanding, the belief that your value is connected to your availability.
Explain that.
We believe that being helpful means always being available. We think that saying yes makes people like and respect us. So we think saying no does the opposite. It feels like we are creating disappointment.
Yes, that is exactly how it feels. I am actively disappointing someone who is counting on me.
But which action creates more disappointment in the long run? A polite no today or a stressed, low-quality yes delivered late next week? Think about it. When you say yes to something you don't have time for, you are silently saying no to something else. No to the quality of your main project. No to finishing on time. No to your own well-being. These silent no's are far more damaging than one spoken no.
So a clear no is actually a form of honesty.
It's the highest form of professional respect. It's telling someone the truth about your time and your priorities. People don't respect the person who says yes to everything. They might like them for a little while because they are useful, but they respect the person whose yes means something, the person who delivers excellent work on time. And you can only do that if you protect your time. Your professional reputation is not built on your willingness to help. It is built on your ability to deliver on your commitments. What people value most is not your agreement, but their clarity.
Clarity. So when I say no, I'm providing clarity about what I am able to do and to what standard.
Precisely. You are protecting the quality of your work, and in doing so, you are protecting their project, the team's goals, and the company's objectives. A strategic no is a service to everyone.
If this is all true, why do so many smart, successful people still get this wrong? I see senior managers who are completely overloaded. They say yes to everything. If this way of thinking is better, why isn't it more common?
Because it requires swimming against a very strong cultural current. The idea of the ideal worker as someone who is always busy, always responsive, is very powerful. It looks like productivity. It feels like commitment. Saying yes is easy, and it gets immediate positive feedback. Saying no is hard. It requires a moment of friction. It requires you to have a very clear understanding of your own value and your own priorities.
It feels like a career risk. If my boss asks me to do something and I say I need to assess it, it can sound like I am being difficult, insubordinate even.
That's the emotional resistance we all feel. But let's reframe this. It is not about saying, no, I won't do that. That is insubordinate. The conversation is not about your willingness. It is about your capacity. You are not refusing the work. You are explaining the consequences of accepting it.
What does that sound like in practice? Let's go back to the Friday email. My manager wants the slides for Monday. I've paused. I've assessed. I know I cannot do it without sacrificing something important. What do I say?
You present her with a choice. You make the problem a shared problem. You could say, thank you for this. I understand the slides for the Monday meeting are important. Currently, my focus is on completing the quarterly budget report, which is due on Tuesday. To create a high-quality presentation for you would take about 3 hours. Could you help me understand which of these 2 tasks should be my top priority right now?
So I'm not saying no. I'm saying yes, and to do this well, something else has to move.
You are inviting her to manage the priorities with you. You are showing her that you are thinking about the bigger picture. You are asking for her strategic input. A good manager will respect this immediately. They will see you as someone who manages their workload responsibly. You are making it clear you want to do good work, not just more work.
And what if she says both are the priority?
That's a common pressure tactic, and you can hold your ground politely. You can say, I understand they are both critical. Given my current capacity, I can deliver an excellent budget report by Tuesday, or I can deliver a good presentation by Monday. I cannot do both at an excellent level in this time frame. Which would you prefer I focus on? You are simply stating the reality of the situation. You are not complaining, you are not refusing, you are providing clarity. You are explaining that to do this new task, you would have to deprioritize something else.
Deprioritize. That's a great word. It's not personal, it's a business decision. I would have to deprioritize the other project.
Exactly. It moves the conversation from your personal willingness to a strategic choice about resources. And the most important resource you manage is your own time and attention. This entire approach is about being a better guardian of your professional capacity.
I see. So if I get a request from a colleague, not my boss, I can use the same logic. Someone asks me to help them with their project. I want to be a good teammate.
You can be a great teammate by protecting your primary commitments. You could say, that sounds like an interesting project. I'd love to help, but my capacity is completely dedicated to finishing the alpha version of our software this week. I can't take on anything new until that is complete.
That's very clear. It doesn't feel rude. It's honest. I'm not saying their project isn't important. I'm just giving them clarity on my own situation.
You are respecting them enough to tell them the truth. A fake yes followed by a failure to help is far more disrespectful. This approach requires you to be deliberate in your thinking. You need to assess each request, understand its impact, and communicate the reality of your capacity.
So if I wanted to put this all together, I get the request. First, I pause. I don't give an instant answer. My first response is just to acknowledge it.
Correct.
Then I assess the request. I look at what it would cost in time and focus. I compare it to the work I have already promised to do.
Excellent.
Then I communicate the situation with clarity. I don't make excuses about being busy. I explain the trade-off. I might say something like, to do this, I would need to deprioritize my other main task. Is that what you want me to do? I'm presenting a choice.
You are. You are managing expectations from the very beginning.
It's not about finding a nice way to say no. All this time I thought the problem was the words, but it's not. It's about knowing what I've already said yes to and having the confidence to protect that.
And that is the entire shift.
So the anxiety I feel, it comes from a conflict between wanting to say yes and knowing I don't have the time. Your approach resolves that conflict before I even write the email. The decision is already made. My priorities are already set. The conversation is just sharing that reality.
Calmly and respectfully.
It's not about refusal. It's about focus. That's what's different. I'm not pushing work away. I'm protecting my focus.